The movie begins with a couple, Will and Sam, in Seattle. During Sam's ultrasound session, they are listening to the heartbeat of their unborn baby. Is this a boy or a girl? That she asks the doctor. Their baby boy is healthy, the doctor informs them. Following the appointment, we learn that Will is scheduled to meet with Sam's parents, Tom and Paula, that evening in order to formally propose to Sam. They share a kiss. Will gets into a vehicle and drives to the airport. Will pays a visit to his prospective in-laws' Chicago apartment. The relationship between Will and Tom is uneasy. Tom mentions that Sam has indicated that she and Will intend to purchase a home during dinner. He tells Will that he'd like a guarantee that if things don't work out between the two, Will won't make any claims to the money he'll be lending them. Will asks if Sam asked for help, but Paula tells him that it's fine since they helped Sam's brother, Stephen, with his place too. Will insists that he's doing well in his current job, but Tom brings up the fact that Sam had to support the two of them while he found his footing in Seattle. They get into an argument with Tom constantly belittling Will and blaming him for Sam moving away. The next day, Sam's calling Will. He's late for his flight, and Sam opens up about Paula calling her concerning the dinner last night. While they are conversing, Sam has a problem. You hear an odd noise, and the electricity goes out. When he asks her what's wrong, all she can say is that something's off and the phone is cut off. He can't get her back on the phone. Sam is still out of Will's reach at the airport. When he learns that flights are delayed till further notice, he is rushing to catch his flight. He learns of a significant earthquake occurrence off the coast of Southern California while out and about. Worried, Will makes his way back to the city and Sam's parents' flat. He informs them that he was speaking with her on the phone when the incident occurred and that the airport has been closed. Tom tells Will that they should look at what they know. The airport's shut down. An event that happened 2,000 miles away affected the city they're in, and F-22s just did a flyby. The only thing they can control is what they decide to do. Paula will be heading for Stephen. Tom and Will would get Sam. When a woman tries to hit on Will at the gas station and he politely declines, they get into trouble. As they prepare to hit the automobile, Tom calls at them to stop, telling her companions that Will called her a slut. One of them comes up to Tom and says they know he has some money. He nods, promising to fetch some cash out of his suitcase, but in the process he extracts a revolver. The group flees in all directions. While driving, Tom and Will had a disagreement. Tom should have told Will about the pistol, Will says. Tom highlights the actions they would have taken if the automobile had been taken from them. They reach a checkpoint and soldiers are not letting anyone move forward. When they come up to a couple of soldiers, they're told to follow the other cars since the road's closed, but Tom refuses. He's told that it's a public safety issue due to the power outage. Tom steps out of the car and clarifies why he needs to move forward and that he understands that if they run into any issue, they'll be on their own. He also mentions that he was part of the Marine Corps. The soldier gives in and allows them through. In Minnesota, they notice a train carrying military vehicles heading west. Will asks what it is, and Tom replies with not good. In the evening, they get pulled over by a police car. Will goes to check it out and realizes it's not a cop, but a civilian with a shotgun. The man tells Will to get back in the car and points the shotgun at him. He wants Tom to get out of the car, but Tom reverses instead and hits the police car. They get chased by the guy. Upon returning to the road, Tom unintentionally startles two deer, causing them to veer into a shallow ditch. The police car's occupant closes the distance. He motions for Will to exit the vehicle, but Tom appears out of nowhere and begins striking him with a rock until he does. Tom appears to have broken a couple of his ribs as a result of their small accident, and they need to get the car into a garage. They tow Tom's wrecked car to a tiny town nearby using the police vehicle. They come across Ricky, a mechanic, who is dubious of them, especially since they arrive in a police vehicle. They find out that all communications, except local hand radio or shortwave, are out. As the group messes with the radio, they get different calls for help from different people, as well as conspiracy theorists talking about what's going on. With the car still in danger of breaking, Tom invites Ricky to come with them since she's planning on going to California. She refuses. Tom offers her $1,000. Ricky points out that there's shady rolling up into town with two cars riddled with bullet holes. Why would she go with two men she doesn't know? He admits that their story's far-fetched and he doesn't think she'll believe them. Ricky finally tells him that she'll do it for $2,000 instead, and Tom agrees. Will gets distracted when Ricky hands over her compass that's pointing everywhere. They stop in the nick of time, but two cars crash in front of them, both flipping over. No one survives from either car. They're walking back when they notice another car approaching. Ricky goes to hide. A couple of guys get out of their car, and Tom guns it. Will tells him to slow down for Ricky. They wait for her to get in with the guys yelling at them. They make their escape. They drive through a crazy storm and can barely see anything in front of them. They stop by a bridge to wait it out. Will drives them to Ashland Heights since he knows some people there and wants to resupply. Tom is against this since it's going out of the way, but Will insists. They're stopped at another checkpoint, and the sheriff tells them that there are no services there, no gas, no nothing. Will argues that he has friends in town, and the sheriff replies that every car that stops there has friends in their town. The sheriff agrees after Will names his friend, Adam Dumont, who lives in town. They're escorted to the Dumont's house, and Meg invites them inside. Will learns that Adam has also been absent since, prior to everything happening, he was in San Francisco on a business trip. After they restock, Will consoles Meg by assuring her that Adam will return to get her. Tom proposes that they see if there's anything helpful at the water park as the group passes by. Ricky is informed by Tom that she is on gas detail while he and Will check on the diner. As they go to the next town, it's on fire. Will informs Ricky that it's the only road they can go, despite her suggestion that they turn around. An automobile is obstructing the road behind a woman who is waving her hands. Will gets out of the car and asks her what she needs. She replies that she needs help with a flat tire. Ricky and Will go to help her, but a man shows up with a shotgun pointed at them. Ricky runs to stop the other guy from stealing their gas canisters, while Will fights off the man with the shotgun. Tom goes to get his gun, but the sudden movement pains him, and he falls on his knees as the guys run off with their gas. They chase after the two men and ram them from behind to try and get them to stop. Tom hands over his gun, and Ricky takes it. She shoots at their tire, and the car flips. They retrieve one of the gas canisters and make a run for it as the car explodes. Ricky freaks out over killing the two guys. Will suggests they rest for the meantime, but the next day, he finds her stuff gone. They decide it may be safer for her. Tom hasn't stopped coughing up blood since the day before. Up ahead, they find a crashed train. The same train that was carrying all the military vehicles back in Minnesota. Will says he'll check for gas. He discovers Tom having trouble breathing while returning. He hands over a syringe and warns Will that his lungs are collapsing. To get Tom to breathe again, Will drives the needle all the way in. Once they're back on the road, the two get along well, and Tom tells Will that Sam told him his father abandoned him. Will informs him that he only sees him once every few years, and that he now resides in Idaho with his new family. Tom tells tales about his dad. Tom claims that although his father appeared to be a shameful man, he was actually a good man. He knows he won't be around for long, so he asks Will to swear to keep Sam safe. Will goes to tell Tom that Sam's pregnant, and Tom tells him he knows because Sam called them after dinner and told them everything. As they're joking around, Will finally admits it wasn't him who crashed his beloved boat, but Sam. Tom tells him he's a good man, and he'll be a good father. On a bridge, the two run into armed men. Will tries to reason out to them and tells them they have money. Tom tells him they can't go over there, and Will agrees, so he tries to turn the car back around, and they're chased by motorcycle-riding men. They work together to fight them off, and Tom passes away soon after. Car breaks down. Will has a mini meltdown, but realizes he has no choice but to leave on foot. He covers Tom's body and apologizes to him. He doesn't want to leave him this way, so he covers Tom and the car with gasoline before setting it on fire. Will attempts to hitchhike. A family finally stopped for him. They're going up north and are staying away from the interstate. The man offers to take him as far as they can, which he readily agrees to. The man demands his gun since he has his family in the car, and Will hands it over. Will leads the family to his father's empty house in Idaho. They rest up, and at night, Will wakes up to a minor tremor. He goes to check the kitchen and finds a total of about 3 weeks' worth of food in the house with a generator that can last up to 5 days. He tells the man that he needs to leave right now and would trade the provision for the man's jeep. He agrees. Will knows that things are getting worse as he gets closer to Seattle because the city is all but destroyed. After discovering a gas mask in an abandoned ambulance, he resumes his journey on foot. He discovers bodies inside the vehicles and a heavy coating of ash covering the entire city. When he gets to the flat, he discovers that Sam left their address on the door. He heads straight to the address and discovers a cabin there, along with Sam and their neighbor Jeremiah. Sam and Will give each other a hug, happy that the other is still alive. The two are cuddling up in bed when we find them. It seems Will has shared the story of what he went through with Tom. He tells her that he wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for her father. He promises never to leave her again before kissing her. That night, Jeremiah tells him that he believes it was an elaborate attack. They get into an argument of whether or not it was a natural disaster or not. Sam stops the two before their argument gets intense and tells Will to rest up. Will confronts Jeremiah the following morning after spotting him looking over the automobile earlier. Will asks Jeremiah where he saw the two children fiddling with it, to which he responds. In order to find them, he asks Will to accompany him into the woods. Will shoots Jeremiah first when he tries to kill him because he has fallen in love with Sam. In an attempt to flee, he rushes back to the cabin to grab Sam. They attempt to flee from a rapidly approaching cloud of smoke and fire that is quickly catching up to them. Sam is reassured by Will that they will survive whatever happens. Their vehicle speeds off down the street as the film comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this and to help the channel grow.